Okay, I'd like to call to order the Public Safety and Equity Advisory Committee meeting for June 4th, 2026. And I will do roll call. So Shelby Stephenson, I am here. Victoria Rizzo, the Vice Chair. Rich Allen. Kelly Wesson.
Here.
Lila Harrington.
Here.
Mary Howell.
Here.
Sherry Winters.
Here.
And let's see, we got Nick Borer online. Yes, we do.
Here.
And Kimberly's gone this time, Mike Weston. Okay, so with that, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next up. Oh, yep, Rich is here. Okay, I'd like to open up public comment on non-agenda items. We'll start with those online. If anyone wishes to speak, unmute and state your name.
Shelby, Paul Wilcox, Troutdale.
Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, there's a pedestrian situation I've been meaning to bring to your attention downtown at Buxton and 257th. If you're standing on the corner where the law office is facing north, across the street, mounted in the sidewalk, there's a sign with it's a circle slash with a drawing of a pedestrian, which means that's you're not supposed to cross from north to south, south to west, or north to south, south to south to north at that, at those 2 points. The problem is a couple of problems. One is cars park at that curb, so they completely block that sign if you're facing north. The cars that are parked on the north side facing west. Also, if you're on the south corner by the law office, there's nothing telling you that you shouldn't cross there, and that's an especially dangerous place for pedestrians because you have those cars free turning right off of Historic Highway onto Buxton. So I was thinking next time you guys have a county transportation representative in your meeting, you might bring that up with them. I did send a message in the Click Fix It program. I haven't gotten any confirmation on that, but just wanted to raise that issue because there's going to be people, especially when First Friday, for example, people could be crossing there because the street's closed, and there'll be even more traffic making that right turn because they have to make the right turn. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thanks.
So you did see somebody crossing, you actually saw somebody trying to cross there?
No, I've never seen anybody attempt to cross, but there's,
Okay.
there's nothing, if that sign's blocked off by a parked car, there's nothing telling them not to.
Okay. All right, thanks, Paul. Anybody else wishing to have public comment on non-agenda item? Go ahead and unmute and state your name. Okay, seeing no one in chambers, I will close public comment on non-agenda items. Okay, item number 4. We are fortunate to have Erica Palmer here to give us emergency operations plan review. So go ahead.
Great. Okay, now it should work properly. Thanks for having me here this evening. I was told that this committee wanted to chat a little bit about the emergency operations plan that we have here at the city. I can tell you that we do have one. It was recently adopted last year. And our emergency operation plan is really an internal document for the city, for city staff in case of what we do during an emergency, how we coordinate with other agencies such as Multnomah County and ODOT, in our other neighboring jurisdictions. So that's what the plan is really about, and just talks about roles and responsibilities. And I just have to really say, if we, let's just say tomorrow, there's a 9-point, magnitude earthquake, something really big in the region, don't count on the city. We're too small. We don't have the staff or the resources. The city, we are going to rely on the county and our coordination with the county, and people need to be prepared. And I don't know if you want to talk about how people can prepare as neighborhoods and in Troutdale and what that would look like.
Well, isn't there an emergency preparedness document anyhow that's on the website?
This is, yes. So the emergencies operation plan, if you were to Google emergencies operation plan, this plan would pop up. And I would have to say it's kind of extremely boring to read through. It does house all of our IGAs, all of our emergency management with the IGAs that we have with all the different jurisdictions. It's, excuse me, I have really bad allergies today. It's based on like the format that FEMA approves for emergency management. It's really not a document that like a lay person would read if they want to know about how to prepare, what they need to have in their home in case of a wildfire, an earthquake, or a flood, or an ice storm.
It's mostly designed just for the city.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think that makes it, there was a big hole here. Go ahead, Sherry.
Okay, so what I want to know is that something that the city wants its community to understand, is that the city is not capable of being able to respond in the event of a big emergency?
Correct. And we reiterate that fact all the time when we talk about emergency preparedness. About a year and a half ago, we had an emergency preparedness training here in Troutdale that was really well received, and we handed out emergency kit bags to people that participated in that 3-hour event. And hopefully in the future, we'll have more of those emergency trainings for Troutdale residents to attend. I thought this question was going to come up tonight. And I did reach out to David Linsner, who is the emergency management coordinator at Multnomah County. And I asked him, I said, I know the city of Portland, they have what they call neighborhood emergency teams, like net teams in each neighborhood, and they have a neighborhood contact. And if you are involved in that program in the city of Portland, once you take, 2 of their introductory classes, they have amazing opportunity for volunteerism and trainings on all sorts of emergency management guidelines and activities. It's a wealth of information for Portland residents. And I asked David Linsner today, I'm like, is there a program like this for East County residents, like for residents here in Troutdale or even in Gresham? And unfortunately, he said no. There isn't a program right now, but he is reaching out to his colleagues at the county level because he said the state of Oregon, the state of Oregon emergency, I forget what the department is called, Oregon Emergency, I know it's like OEM, I believe, I forget what the Oregon Emergency Management Department, that's what it's called. David said that they may be able to sponsor some events for Troutdale residents if this is something we want to pursue in the future. And he's going to be giving me a call back. He's going to give me a call back here in the next couple days to talk about putting me into contact with the State Department to talk about what this could look like for Troutdale and how we could get something started. And I'm also going to reach out to the City of Gresham as well, because I know that they have a new emergency management person over there who's doing a lot of work. Excuse me, my voice is going out. So I can definitely come back to another meeting and tell you all, provide additional information. And if people are interested in, having more emergency preparedness trainings, that's something we can most likely make happen.
This is Sherry. I know I've said it in this group before, but years and years and years ago, so, could be 20-some years ago. Somehow, I feel like it was a little bit more Gresham associated, but it might have been Multnomah County, and it was referred to as NERT, and it was Neighborhood
Emergency
Response.
Yeah.
Team training,
Yep.
thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, we went through stuff, and, they talked about, it's, very informational and things that I didn't realize, the fault lines or the Columbia and all the potential stuff that could happen. And so I feel like it could be something that even if it's, maybe it works best if it's several hours long. Maybe that was like, I think 8 weeks or 10 weeks of coming for an hour or two or something, I don't know.
Yep.
But it did, make that reference to your neighborhood and how, if you can create responsibilities within your neighborhood. Because nobody's gonna be coming probably for days. And, that was back then. And I just didn't know if Troutdale really advertised the fact that, you need to be prepared if that had been said before. But that's what I do think is important, is people understand that they can't count on the city to bail them out.
We really try to reiterate that point every single time when we talk about emergency management and preparedness here in the city. People have to be prepared.
Okay. Go ahead.
So generally, the city would be trying to get help in, but it's those first few days that are really kind of critical. As a younger man, I would be deployed to disasters, and you typically don't have the water you need, you don't have communications, you don't have the emergency medical services you need that can keep up. Fuel runs out, food starts to get more scarce. And the EMO office has suggestions as far as what you should carry in your home. Now, what I found that most people didn't do that, but some people were prepared, and it was a great relief when there were neighbors in an area. It didn't matter which country you're talking about, but there'd be human behavior is the same, but there'd be some people that were more prepared that would help others who were in need in their area. And so if you could promote that, then there's a better chance you have enough to be able to make a difference. But if you do nothing, then there may be too many people that are unprepared. So that's something we should probably consider is the educational process of it.
Anybody else have questions? Go ahead, Kelly.
This is Kelly. I love thinking about this because it is something we need to get out. And so I'm wondering how we can incorporate this into the town hall that's coming up in October, and potentially offering something or promoting trainings that we could potentially create. And then maybe also figuring out a way to promote that along with our neighborhood association, because you're talking about having one person per neighborhood to contact, so it could be another way to promote that too. So I guess it's not a question, but thoughts on those.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking back here, if you go to the city's website and you type in emergency management, the last training was videotaped. And there is a video online, and I can send you, everyone, all the city members here tonight, a link to that video to watch.
Is that thing that you get the emergency kit with?
Yes.
Okay. Exactly what you're talking about.
And we can also like make some additional like Facebook, social media posts about emergency management as well. That's something I can tell Kevin. And he can link to the website that has the videos if people are interested in watching it too.
I think that's totally what we're talking about, is we want to make sure that we make resources available, and, you know, periodically we are kind of prodding people, remembering, don't forget to look at, you should take care of this. I mean, just all sorts of subjects that we're going to be talking about more tonight in preparation for the town hall. Go ahead, Twyla.
I was just going to say, I've partnered before with the American Red Cross. They do their disaster planning and their education manuals for the community based upon the things that would be likely to happen as a disaster. So they have a very nice online manual on how to prepare for different disasters, but also if you reach out, they provided me in the past booklets to hand out to our employees. So that might be a resource if you guys decided to do that in the future.
Have questions for Erica? How about anybody online have any questions for Erica? Okay, well, thank you very much. I mean, I'm so glad to have kept you for just that long.
Well, I'll definitely come back once I get more information. So we can talk about, you know, if there's the possibility that the state can help us get some additional training and what that would look like here in Troutdale as far as, you know, advertising and getting people on board.
And since you have more knowledge of maybe other stuff on the website or whatever too, I mean, maybe there's a way that, and I'm speaking for CAC or whatever, as they're prepping the town hall, trying to look at pieces that we're part of this, that anything else that we offer in that area, like public safety or things like that, that might pertain more even to that emergency management piece of it too. I mean, I feel like sometimes I think we have a small box on my stuff, and then
We all do.
there's other things, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, that's an issue, so.
We don't currently have another plan to do you know, that emergency preparedness class. I mean, I think it was a couple of years ago, and it's not on the
A
docket.
year and a half ago, it was in November.
Yeah, it was in November, about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any plans at the moment, but, you know, when I talked to David at the county, I'm hoping he can put me in touch with some resources, because, you know, trainings like that do cost money, and, you know, maybe there's something out there that could pay for this opportunity for Troutdale.
And it feels like it could tie in well with the town hall, and then having this as the opportunity coming up to, you know, enroll in this class or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's what I want, is the more visibility. But I will jump ahead here momentarily and tell you guys. CAC met last night, and the town hall thing is kind of evolving a little bit differently. It seems like there's getting pushed back to, I think it should be more directed that city council should run a meeting. So I was going to talk to our group here.
Oh, okay.
If we want to just be still having more informational, if we want to try to do something else on our normal night, or we could do it on a different night, like what we were talking about. They were talking about doing, only it sounds like from the city manager more of an emphasis on this should be more about the city council, and that's because the main topic they want to talk about, obviously, it's the huge thing, the elephant in the room, police and fire. Okay, so they want to talk about that, and that just keeps. We talked a ton about it last night at Citizen Advisory. So it seems to be, but unfortunately, they aren't meeting in July. They're meeting again in August, and they're talking in the meantime. A number of the committee members are going to be talking to the city manager. So you know, I'll talking to them, but I'm not really sure. All I can say
So it's
is,
not gonna be an event that all the public just comes to, or, I mean, not all maybe, but people would come to that would really be more potentially wanting to be engaged and. It's not gonna be
I think that it's just kind of evolving, and it's kind of changed, and this was all kind of shocking to us last night,
Okay.
to some of us, but I know I was pushing that for public safety for police and fire, that we have at least 2 meetings related to that, but I still think we have all this other information. Maybe other committees don't have as much to provide. I mean, I would think parks still have stuff to do, but I would think that we would still want to have our town hall meeting. So I don't know exactly where that sounds. I just feel like I got a wrench thrown in it last night, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to proceed or how they're going to proceed. I don't think they know entirely, but because of schedules and stuff, they're not going to be meeting in July. It's not till August. It felt like, oh man, we're going to lose so much time when we need to be figuring out what we're doing. But I feel like we still have tons that we can be preparing resources for, whether, I hope we still get to do some kind of town hall, but if nothing else, we're going to have these in the Champion, we're going to put them on websites, we're going to put them up on bulletin boards, we're just going to do other Facebook page, we're going to just try to put out a lot of information and just continually, and even like we talked about last month, I know I'm just jumping all over the place here, but like the e-bikes, or what do you call it, Frank called it, multimodal transportation and stuff like that. I think that's so much information. We're going to have to keep hitting the Champion and putting bits of information out. Because it's too much for people.
Yeah, somebody just killed in Beaverton.
Yeah, so lots to think about there. But anyhow, I'm getting off on a tangent here of just that I'm not sure how that town hall, I don't know what's going to happen. I think we still move forward with the stuff we're trying to pull together. I still think we need to do that. So, Kelly?
Yeah, this is Kelly. Maybe with that in mind, we think about publishing a preparedness list of some sort or notice in the Champion this summer, and just get ahead of it and get some thoughts around it, get people noticing it, and see what happens.
I think,
Can I offer a suggestion?
I was gonna ask, so go for it.
I don't know if this committee has a budget or not, but I'm assuming you do, because most committees have a budget and have a line item in the budget. The city's utility bill is actually a really good way to advertise to all residents within Troutdale. Well, anyone who gets a utility bill. There's a minimal cost, and we can talk about what those costs are. But you could do a full page like flyer of what you want to have, like in a to-go bag, and why, and resources that are available for people to get that are interested in emergency preparedness. I mean, there's a lot of things I think that could be on a flyer, or actually flyer, to get out to folks. But, you know, on that flyer, you could say, you know, prepared by, you know, your public safety equity, you know, committee.
So
Come to our meetings.
So is this, but I think we advertised our public safety survey on the water bill, but you're talking the electric.
Sorry, not the electric bill, it's the water bill. It's the water bill. Excuse me.
And this is the discouraging part we found. We advertised, but we didn't have a half page, so we just put a little snippet, and they were easily able to do it for us. But you know how many people get their bills online and never read and open up the thing? So it was discouraging for us that it didn't get the visibility.
Well,
I believe there's a way that you can hit the people online too.
so I think what had happened was, it came on both bills, but it was just written in the same itty bitty font. I mean, like in like a note section, and it came second to something else that was in there. And when we had first thought about it, because it's when we wanted the survey filled out, you know, in our little chit chat, because we were threesome in that group making that survey, we had said, oh, could we have something on the envelope that said, you know, like some type of either a sticker stuck on it, or like a coloring thing done on it saying, check out the survey, you know, connection inside, or like whatever, just something. And like we wanted it to be on the electronic bill, that the first thing that flashes up is, don't forget to fill out your survey or something like that. And then they, you know, whatever. And so again, I don't know all the ins and outs of how difficult that would be. But at the time, I think that's why we were so discouraged, is because it was like secondary in the water bill. And it came at such a late time, and we were closing out the survey.
Yeah, so the options are, you can have it on the bill, and if it's on the bill itself, it's gonna be probably in little tiny like font, and it might not even be in color. The other options are, you can do a quarter sheet, half sheet, or a full page. But the costs increase, you know, as you go up, and those are actually inserts within the bill themselves.
Oh, okay.
And then I know that there's an online option, because I've used it in my previous job with utility bills. And it's the same company that we have here in Troutdale, so I know how it operates, which is good. So I know that we could send something out to people who receive those utility bills via email. There's a way.
Okay. I'm afraid that we're a committee, because of when we did the survey, we had to go to, we figured we better go to city council and ask them, you know, for a little bit of money, because I don't believe we have a budget. I believe our committee doesn't have a budget. So,
She's on it.
yeah, so anyhow, we requested, but I think we spent very little of the money, because I know we didn't spend any $500. We wrote a free survey using Google Docs, so I mean, I love that you know more that can help us. Maybe we can do something, because I think more ways that we get the information out to people is better, and that's one of the things I struggle with, is that there isn't.
And honestly, we know that we're never going to reach everybody, but the more ways we can reach people, and we know people are going to take it and not get prepared. I mean, I got prepared years ago, but that box that has even some clothes in it, I couldn't fit in now anyway. So the useless clothing that was in there, you know, yeah, the food's long since been taken out.
Okay, Rich.
Just going to mention, you probably already know this, the web admin can probably give you statistics as to how many clicks they're getting on that particular page,
Oh, okay.
if you want to know how effective you're being.
Anyone else have questions for her? We already asked online, so, okay, well, thank you so much, Erica. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's see, we'll move on to agenda item number 5. 2026 meeting minutes. Have you guys had a chance to review them? Anyone have any comments out? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the.
Can I insert something first? Sure. Maybe we should ask Paul.
Oh, okay. Yes, Paul, did you notice anything on our meeting minutes from April 9th? You're so good about editing, so, okay. Okay.
It's got a reputation.
Yeah, you got a reputation. Okay, it's moved by Kelly.
Second by Sherry.
All right. More discussion? No, let's see, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Just a question,
Go ahead.
we keep being behind. We didn't have the May minutes.
Somebody's out in the office too now, so
Okay.
they're struggling.
Okay.
So I'm thankful that she got it. She didn't even know for sure she'd have the April one, so thank you, Sarah. Okay, agenda item number 6. Is it, I'm not,
Town Center.
Town Center, oh, it's Sherry.
I nominate Sherry.
Okay, I was gonna say, who is serving on our Town Center advisory? It's Sherry, okay. So,
Keep consistency like they like.
yeah,
I would second that.
yeah, okay. So is there any other discussion on it? Okay, all those in favor of Sherry being our nominee for TCAP? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, Yay, thank you, Sherry, for serving. I forgot. Okay.
Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, so number 7, review of monthly law enforcement reports. I'll first start with you, Nick. Do you have any comments about the law enforcement reports for May?
Nothing stands out to me right now. I do not believe so.
Okay, does anybody have a chance to review what you want to review and ask any questions of Nick? Anybody online have questions?
Shelby Paul Wilcox, I had a couple.
Okay, go ahead, Paul.
Okay. I'll start with the easier one for Nick. On 5/12 at 6:43, there was a call with a description I'd never seen before. It said food basket.
That was actually my call.
Okay, what is that?
Was it 5:43 p.m.
16:43.
or 16? Yeah, okay, 16:43 p.m. Yeah, that was mine. Uh, basically, what that is somebody, the Portland Police Bureau deals with the Sunshine Division, where they give out food baskets for people that need food, water, that type of stuff. Somehow it got diverted over to us, which we do not work with the Sunshine Division. So I actually took the call and contacted that person and deferred them over to the Portland Police Bureau. It was just a communication breakdown with dispatch and sending it to us because the person was calling from Troutdale.
Oh, okay. I just never seen that one before.
Yeah, we get a couple of those a year, but not very many because they're usually good about making sure they go to the Portland units when those calls come in. But it did get sent out to us that day, so I took care of it.
Okay. The other one was on 5/7 at around 11 p.m. We were actually in bed and heard a crash on 257th, and quite a few neighbors went out to check it out. And it turned out to be a single car crash that I talked to the driver. He was going southbound apparently and lost control coming around the curve by the high school. So the accident was between Cherry Park and Hensley, and he ended up on the east side, completely up on the sidewalk, facing backwards. He said he'd done a 180 when he lost control, so he ended up on the sidewalk, and the right rear wheel was kind of cocked at 45 degrees to the car, so it wasn't drivable. So apparently nobody else had called it in. The driver was unhurt, but I thought it should be documented, so I called it in on non-emergency. And the thing I wanted to mention was on the call report, the officer was only on scene for 7 minutes. So I thought that was kind of a quick assessment of what was going on. The car was completely on the sidewalk, all four wheels, so it wasn't blocking traffic at all. And I couldn't tell if the driver was impaired or not. He didn't appear to be, but I just thought that was a kind of a short time frame to knock off that call that quickly.
So what could have happened is they could have shown up on scene and saw that nobody was injured, no property was damaged, and the person had already told the officer or the deputy that they had a tow coming en route for them. And so a lot of times when we show up on those, especially single car crashes, if nobody's injured, no property's damaged, and they already have a tow coming, we typically leave if they're not a traffic hazard, which it sounds like that's not, considering it's on the sidewalk. But my guess is that's probably what happened there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else online? Okay, thank you very much. Sherry, go ahead.
Nick, I just wondered, did you or any of the officers in the county have to respond to the incident in Clackamas County and Sandy?
Yes, there were, I don't even know how many of our guys went out there, maybe 4 or 5. I was at home and off that day, but when I heard about it, I turned it on my radio and listened to it from my house. I almost just self-deployed and went down there, but I did not. Because by the time I had heard about it and I saw it on my computer, there was already tons of people there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Nick. All right, you guys, let's see, let's move on to agenda item number 8, which is discuss. Okay, so like I already alluded to, CAC is kind of a little bit in limbo about what is actually happening, how it's going to happen. The end push by the end of discussion last night, Victoria would second, or see if she agrees with me, what my assessment is, that they're thinking the city council is going to take it on as a session with more like what do we call an open forum. And I think we were pushing for 2 meetings, but I don't know for sure, and that would be in September and October. But they don't meet next month, and they're going to, the chair and another committee member, we're going to be talking to Weston City Council, and so we won't be meeting till August, so we won't know, but I personally think that we should forge ahead with all of the stuff, resources that we want to make available. All happens. I think we could adapt, and maybe we can do our own event. The blessing, we'd have to get the blessings.
Mini night out.
Yeah, it's a mini night out. Yeah, so I don't know how you guys feel about it. Does anyone have any comments on that? Kelly?
This is Kelly. Yeah, I still think, especially if we want to just get information out, setting up a booth, even at the town hall, we could set up a little something that we could have flyers to pass out, I guess depending on budget, which I didn't realize is a thing, but passing out information or having information sitting there, you don't have to sit there the whole time. But then there's also things like, I don't know if the city runs it, but like at Easter time, the Easter egg hunt situation, and then the holiday tree lighting, things like that, we could still set up and give out information. I know maybe some of them aren't always filled with our residents, but it would still be really good, especially if we have some of this preparedness stuff that we want to talk about and all that, so.
I was just gonna say, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but if they're meeting here and then we might, depending on the volume of people coming and going or whatever, it could be a challenge with parking and stuff. But still, people coming in, having a say on that, and then also that preparedness and even anything else that might go along with it, I think that's good. I was thinking too that, yes, since we do, this is under such constraints on a budget, it's not like getting to a hot while on anything, but maybe if there's a way we set up the QR code that links back to the page with, you know, the link to the different, like.
Use technology.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I know some people don't want to use a QR code, and, you know, just even having the website on a little card or something is important to them, you know, in that capacity too. But I do think if it links in easily, I have to admit, for as long as I've been on stuff with the city, I've always found the web page not very so greatly user-friendly to me. So I typically show my stupidity by going, I couldn't really find that, you know, and somebody goes, really? But so I don't believe I'd be the only one in that ballpark that can't figure it out. Yeah, I kind of feel like if there was a way, an easy way to like show different things, that quick thing, and there could be more in-depth stuff with anything too, but the idea that, you know, ways you can be prepared and the different areas of being prepared too. Because I feel like we could focus on not just if we have like the major earthquake or something, but even like the fire piece, you know, preparing your property, you know, what you should have done, stuff like that. So it kind of, you know, on all those different areas, if we have something, you can find it quickly, or maybe little videos. We could video you talking about it.
Not me. Not me.
We'll volunteer Erica.
Nope.
I think we have a ton of different things we could, besides just the preparedness. And remember how last month we talked about, I think Kimberly had mentioned that her neighborhood association, and that could be the beginning if we could, we already have these neighborhoods in Troutdale. And so if there is interest in people to form these neighborhood associations, I don't know if we could set up, get information on how they could do it or how we can help them. So that means we got to do a little research ourselves to figure out how to, but to prepare those kinds of materials to then drive. And it could lead to neighborhood watches, could lead to what kind of like you had had before, then say a neighborhood emergency response team. I mean, you know, little pockets of this could only be more helpful to the city too, right? For all of us as citizens.
I just was thinking if you, I mean, sometimes the neighborhoods, they're almost like so big or overwhelming to think how big a neighborhood could be. And if I was responsible for my neighborhood, I'd be like, sorry, you guys are out of luck, you were in trouble. But I feel like if we're talking about a smaller within it, and then also if there really is a way to maybe communicate with, so I know there's like that Nextdoor app, but not the whole, like how it engrosses everybody. It needs to be like a smaller group of people coming together, just linked in on this. Yeah, something like that. I was going to say something. Eric is going to too. No.
I was just gonna say, in CAC, I forget her name, but there's one of the committee members is very passionate about putting up flyers in our city parks. And those are in our communities and bulletin boards, so that might be a place also, if you guys had something, that you could put something up there.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's one of the things that I was totally thinking we would do. We can't do just electronic stuff. We need to have, we need to have some for people that don't do any of the online stuff. Absolutely.
So
Mary?
you're talking about as far as the neighborhood involvement or communities, or you're talking about trying to get the information out to people if they're interested in starting, right?
Right.
In their little, okay.
Well, I think that big thing that Kimberly brought up last month is that they have, it's different than an HOA. We have no neighborhood associations in this city. Well, we do have HOAs. And HOAs are more about property enforcement rules and stuff like that. And the neighborhood association is more about concerns with the community in that is neighborhood or whatever. Go ahead, Mary.
I just think that, I hate to be a naysayer, but I think we definitely need to put the information out, because, and I'm feeling responsible for even just my neighborhood trying to get something started. If I'm on this committee, I should try and get something started. And I've got, I've already kind of outreached to some neighbors, but I haven't followed up, or don't follow up very well. So I feel like I can't speak of it if I'm not doing it myself so much. But the fact that we don't even hardly have anybody here or even knows of us speaks volumes for really the interest of having anybody having that, the interest of actually having a neighborhood association. I think we need to start somewhere, and I guess I'm talking, I'm gonna try it in my own little neighborhood, and like Sherry was saying, I can't do the whole neighborhood, but I certainly can do my block or my street,
I think it's.
And so I think that's where and then, and I'm sure there are people out there that would be willing to, get together with their neighbors, or at least a couple of them, and that would be better than nothing. It's a start.
I know that in my larger neighborhood, but it extends into a piece of Gresham in that corner. There's a couple that lives up there that walks all the time, and they know tons of people all around. There's another on 24th, a couple that walks around, and they know a lot of stuff going on too, and they are definitely Troutdale. And I feel like, Dave and Debbie, go to them and talk to them about, getting the word out in their walks and chats with people or something too. So anyway,
I know it could be like pushing a freight train uphill, but I just think if we just try to make starts, and if it doesn't go anywhere, I mean, we can't make it happen. All we can do is do our part to try to facilitate it. So that's what I think is, we gotta try to do. But so basically, have to figure out, do a little bit of research to put together some kind of materials for that, so. I also think, we talked about the defensible space too. I think that there was, like wildfire emergency prepare stuff. We had something
Yes.
last year, you guys got a grant to do something in the Sandy Palisades neighborhood, I think.
We did, and we had a wonderful turnout at that event. We had between 80 to 100 people show up. Gresham Fire was there. The State Fire Marshal's office was there. Multnomah County Emergency Management was there. And each agency gave a little, 3 to 5 minute talk about preparedness and emergency management and wildfire preparedness on people's properties, because Sandy Palisades is a large neighborhood and they only have really one access point in and out of the neighborhood. And it went really well. It was on a Saturday afternoon. We had excellent weather, and it was all paid for through a grant from the state of Oregon.
So, do we have plans for doing any more, or?
We don't, but we just in that neighborhood this week, we put up some wildfire evacuation signage
Oh, okay.
throughout the neighborhood, which will be helpful, in case of a wildfire event when it's really smoky and hard to see, and people might have guests staying with them that don't know how to get out of the neighborhood, because if you've ever been in Sandy Palisades, you can get lost. I have myself, not knowing all the streets in there. And people have Airbnbs and whatnot, and so we really felt that we needed to put up some evacuation signage within that neighborhood. So we did that just this week, and there is going to be an article in the Champion about that project as well.
That's cool. Okay, well, so this
It's not helpful for anybody trying to leave that neighborhood at times, because I've been in that neighborhood and somebody's pulled me over, flagged me down when I'm walking and can't figure out how to get out of it. Clearly they don't have, because I feel like if you have maps on your phone, there's no way you can't get out. It's going to take you out of the neighborhood, but they couldn't. Yeah, you just stay on this road. Just go that way, stay on this road. But it curves.
But it curves and it's long, and you're like, how long is this gonna?
Yeah.
How long am I going to be driving through this neighborhood?
Go ahead, Rich.
I don't know if you've already heard this or not, but there's signage put up right where somebody parks. They can't open their door to get out of their car. And they really wish that the sign was put in between the two driveways where nobody parks. So placement of signs.
You've already had an issue with this?
It was already a complaint that came in, yeah. So just as suggestions for what it is. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I haven't heard of that one yet, but.
Okay, then I also think, Victoria, I think you were gonna get information about that Explorer, how that works with, not Explorers, the cadet program, because Explorers is the police, and that doesn't.
They're not taking it yet, so next month I should have more.
Okay.
They're not accepting it right now.
Okay, well, so at any rate, I think that if we have information about
we can
that,
turn it out.
as well as it was also brought up, if there was anything we could promote, if young people were thinking about, or somebody, a career change into law enforcement, I believe that Nick had indicated we could show openings on the sheriff's office had on our Facebook page or other stuff. So I don't know if there's anything we exactly do at this event on stuff like that, but I did have cadets and explorers written down here that we could provide information also about that stuff. And we would also, on a periodic basis, need to obviously update those things because the information would change, especially like if there are certain programs and enrollment period for the cadet program or et cetera. And then information about who and how to contact the right resources for a variety of problems. I know that right now on the Troutdale website, the homepage, if you got a problem, you can just go in and submit your problem and it will get routed to the various agencies. I think that my point here was Frank brought up last month that he has some resource information, he has phone numbers, so if people are on the trail or they run into something, they get a phone number to call to get a resource that, or get somebody to notify somebody of something. So I think if there's whatever he has,
That's
that
beneficial.
we might want to make sure that we have that information also available as something too. And then all the information about multimodal transportation, the bikes, e-bikes, scooters, segways, all that sort of stuff. I think as much education, since that seems to be evolving, and we'd obviously keep having to update it as laws change or ordinances. And one of the things I think that Frank was bringing up is they're consistent on a lot of things, but like when you get in state parks and some other things, there are some inconsistencies. So I think we might have to keep updating the materials, but it's still beneficial since that's a market that is exploding, just all the different kinds. You guys remember from last month when he talked about all that stuff,
I think he also indicated that the city could now, since it's come down that way, the city can now adopt some of their own
right,
regulations, whatever.
right, yeah, that's right.
So that could be.
So we could get feedback from the community if they're having issues that are safety, obviously, then we might want to lobby city council for some ordinance change, so.
It's been getting definitely some television coverage, news coverage on some of the local stations, not about here, but in other locations where, there's all these, not just transportation, but also regular bikes congregating in areas and whipping in and out of parking lot traffic. And so if something needs to be done, they need to write up some, because you can't necessarily bust somebody for riding a bicycle in a parking lot.
Right. So I think we have a bunch there to do. I'm hoping we can get some of this information from Frank since he's researched it way more than us. And then also we talked about in relation to bike safety, having I don't know if we can also coordinate this. I don't know when we are doing it. Maybe it's in coordination with some, I don't know that they've planned out all the community walks. It didn't look, I couldn't see anything past today's community walk. But if we could do maybe at a time for when young biker riders might be there, bike safety, or I think Frank brought up also in conjunction with Troutdale Bikes, but bike safety day, or just, maybe we could even get a program with Troutdale Bikes that they set up a course that was offered through the recreation program. I don't know. We could encourage that. That's kind of out there, but I know that we talked about a bike safety day. At least I had a note written down from last time, bike safety day, and then something about Troutdale Bikes. So, and then of course the other thing is we need to get information about, which, like I said, I think that's happening a bunch with the city council, but I feel like it's our public safety committee. We got to make sure information gets out to the public about police and fire options. And I don't think our group understands fully the options at all, but I'm hoping that the city council will on decently, but if not, if we feel like they're not going to allocate enough time, enough sessions, then I think we need to do something about it. I don't know thoughts on it, but certainly I need to you guys buy in on that sort of stuff too. So does anyone else have thoughts of other things that we should be putting materials together for, or?
Just have the first aid resources and the babysitting classes as well.
No, I didn't say that, you're right. I think I wrote it down on my other sheet, but I think I said that's in the recreation guide, but we should probably emphasize that they are available, so.
I think we also talked about a community scholarship of some sort, since the babysitting class, first aid classes cost money. Charlie, was it you that said it's $300? I don't think so.
It's 99.
Yeah, we looked it up, it was like, there's so many.
I said that,
Oh,
and then I corrected it.
yes. Oh my God, inflation.
Okay, so,
I was gonna say, maybe Nick, we can.
I have a question for him too.
Maybe he has some idea of something we should be talking about in safety on something like that.
Oh, not,
too.
I want to go back and ask him about, because I skipped the very first thing on my list, which was to ask him an update on, you thought you might meet, but it might be too soon. I said I might be asking too soon about Portland Playbook.
The most recent thing on update on that is they reached out to our PIOs to get information about what resources the county has, and the PIOs have been in contact with them. And as of right now, I have not heard anything updated on that.
Okay. Because if you guys remember, he's told us that the playbook was kind of like crime fighting development with like neighborhood watch, or it's kind of a combination of things that's kind of sort of obsolete, but they were kind of pulling together stuff, resources, ideas, how to fight crime better, I guess. So if I remember something like that, I wrote down Portland Playbook. And
Yeah, it was all based off of revamping the neighborhood watch programs, but they were just going to call it a different name.
okay. Okay, so let's see. Any other? So we need to divide up and figure out how to do all this. I don't know, does anybody have an interest to do a particular, or try to research any subject, or?
I think we need to know if we're gonna have a town hall and have a date before we.
I think we have to provide these resources regardless. We're going to, I think we'll just try to tag on their event if we can't, just to have our information available, have this stuff on a QR code, sheet that's got various QR codes or little web pages or stuff. So I know we don't have much in the budget, probably. I don't even know if we have a budget, that's why I said. So, but I don't mind, I'll print a few sheets or whatever, but with our QR codes or whatever we have to have with information for people who are interested. And we want to put all this stuff on the web page if we can, print a poster and put it on at the bulletin boards, just every which way, and including if we can pay for it, put it on the utility bills, or just do a little bit at a time, I don't know. But I think that, put it in the Champion, go ahead.
I'm happy to do some research on all of this and get some information pulled together.
I don't expect you to do it all, but if you want to.
Just even getting a starting list going of where some of this stuff is and what it looks like.
Okay.
I'm happy to get that going.
Okay, awesome.
They do have the babysitting class this summer here.
Oh, here in this room?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, it's probably at Sam.
It's in our
Yeah,
recreation.
guide, I saw it there, yes.
Which brings up the question, we need to have somebody who's gonna take a look at the budget, see if we have money and how much.
Erica's gonna let me know.
Oh, great, thank you,
She's gonna let me
Erica.
know if we
And
have-
also, if the city's willing to do a line item for donations towards a fund to help people with, you suggest babysitting. Yeah.
And did we say, I'm just trying to remember who told us that. Erica, can the city actually accept money that's given as a grant? I didn't think so. It has to be done through a nonprofit.
501c or
Yeah,
something.
that's right. That's what I remember learning last meeting and thinking.
Yeah.
So I think then we basically, it has to be, it might be just information about if we want to set up in our community, a way to help defray costs for somebody.
From time to time, volunteers who are setting up a 501c and administering it, right? You want to make sure it's somebody who's trustworthy so you don't end up when they have problems with it.
At your own committee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we need to investigate what we could do on that avenue or whatever. So.
Well, I think it's, like, Kelly's gonna look some stuff up. I mean, I can look I just can't say what I'm gonna look up because I feel like it's a little bit overwhelming for me to even look at it. But because of every area being slightly different, or, I do feel like Sandy Palisades is right there at the edge of the bluff that runs up. I'm sure that, even within this area and kind of coming up of the hill, that's different. I'm sure that when you're down at this level, you have different stuff to worry about than me up there higher on the hill. I think if a flood was gonna happen or Bonneville Dam was suddenly gonna crack and all this water come pouring down, I believe it would impact here. I don't know for sure, but I believe it would probably. I don't think it would be enough water to come up to where I'm at. So I feel like even those things, it's like understanding different areas, and so then I feel like, it's kind of like there's some specificness with, knowing your area. So then.
It might be.
Was it you that said that there was particular stuff already written up?
Yeah, so most agencies like Multnomah County will have it. They do a risk assessment and then they can weigh things. So probably her reaching out to the counties and if they can do some education, they can reach out, and they really have like everything possible that could happen, and they have done risk assessments around that, and then that's how they prepare. So looking at that or finding that might be helpful too.
Okay.
I remember when we were buying the house that we're in now, we took a look at what the risks were. And the U.S. Geological Service had information on which part of the mountain was likely to go, by what percentage. I mean, they really get into this.
Yeah.
And where the Lahars were going to go. And of course, in one of those scenarios, there was the Sandy River. The Lahar would come down. And they had rough guesses about how high it would go and that sort of thing. I don't know if you want to know about that, but it is interesting.
It is, it really is, and there's so many resources out there now with like the GIS mapping and such that like can layer all those on top of each other. But again, it's, you might not want to go that far down the rabbit hole because you won't sleep.
You really want to know?
Well, I think in light of, Mount St. Helens when it blew, and I was alive for it, and if you weren't, then you don't remember the impact of even the thickness of the ash.
I stopped driving my car because I had just rebuilt the engine.
And I worked with a gal who, she lived in Spokane at the time, I realize it's not here, but she said it just blacked out in the middle of the day. You could not see to drive because of the thickness of the ash in the air. And then knowing the devastation of the way it wiped out bridges and, that kind of stuff, that, it could happen here. I just feel like when it wipes out down below, it impacts me on infrastructure where I might be able to get to. But I'm not gonna probably feel the effects of the river like somebody else might that's living closer to the river. So, and I do think, not to reinvent a wheel or to try and be the quasi-expert when I'm not, I mean, it's better to know where we're going to get the sources for the information, so that's good. Thanks, Twyla.
The river is my plan, taking my little life straw down there.
Okay, well, all right, we got work to do on researching. Do what we can, just anything you bring back, great. We'll just try to pull together. If you like asking anything, go ahead.
This may not be the appropriate time, but I was surprised on deployments how often the rivers became unusable for the first few days. So people really need water. They can go without food, but they need water. And what happens is pipes over the river break and tanks that rupture, they flow into the river, stuff like that. So river water becomes questionable. So you still want to keep some water supply. And probably your neighbors aren't going to have a water supply either, so have a little extra if you can. And a med kit. I keep a med kit in the car because I learned that because of my nature, I'm going to lose it in the house. Whereas the car, I don't have to search so far.
And some alcohol.
And what?
Alcohol.
Oh, and some alcohol.
Through the day.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, that's right.
You're talking
Yeah, be careful though, because you might not have water.
Okay, does anybody online have any comments about, I don't know, areas of public safety related stuff? Anyone have any comments for us? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Okay, now circling back to the Community Resource Deputy Workforce Work Focus for June. Does anyone, we didn't really talk about any hot spots, but let's see, in the past, yeah, we said nothing last month. So does anyone have anything that they'd like Nick and the sheriff to focus on this month? Sorry, we just don't provide very feedback,
Well,
but I guess
I-
it's
I-
good. Maybe there's really not any issues.
Well, I'm just gonna say, I came down 257th, was waiting at the light to make my right to go into Troutdale to come up the hill. I mean, to go just right there, right here. Anyway, and the light goes green for us, but the left-hand turn lane turning continues to go and go and go. So it's green light, and I kid you not, probably 3 cars went through there. It's just, I think Nick said, like, that kind of thing, there's no place to really sit to get somebody. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it just me or so many more people running the lights these days? It just seems like more than I remember.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's a couple of spots where left turners keep turning.
You don't want to wait for the cycling.
I find myself, when the light turns green, it's like the neighbor, please, please don't go, because the car's not stopping, it's coming.
Oh, right, yeah.
They're hoping they're looking. They don't always.
I do wonder at that light, because at the time when we were coming here and when I come home, it backs up all the way down to like the outlets there, that left turn as you're coming in. And so sometimes you can be there 3 cycles or so before you get up to the light. And I feel like that causes that anxiety of, oh, good Lord, how many more cycles? And then they just go. So I wonder if there's some pattern or something that the county, I don't know. It just feels like it's timed incorrectly. Like in the morning, everybody getting out, that the right-hand turn there, I mean, still it backs up, but it doesn't back up as bad as everybody coming back into town at the end of the day.
That's a good point. Could it be timed better?
We could ask about that maybe.
See, I'm praying about it, and you're
This,
thinking
is this
about
the
it.
list? Okay, this, I think.
I'm sitting there through the cycles. I got a lot of time.
257 under the highway. Okay. All All right, so let's see, we'll move on from that. Is there any update from the Public Safety Working Group? Do you guys have any update? Or did I skip over something? I don't think so.
We have another meeting on the 15th.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking, is don't you have a meeting on the 15th? Yeah.
There was more police involvement last time. But some of that information was new to us too, so,
Oh, that's right, Rich, you're on that too.
yeah, they were right on top of it.
Okay, well, I guess nothing for now. The last meeting?
Do you remember when the last meeting was?
It was about a month ago.
I went to it, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was informative, I was really glad I got it.
Is there anything we should talk about from the last meeting? Did we discuss it already? I don't remember, sorry.
No, I don't think we've discussed that one.
Yeah, I think we had a lot more people from the community attend. And so it was good because I think,
In the press.
yeah, and the press was there too.
Yeah.
That's right, that's right.
So it was great to kind of level set, and I feel like Mayor Ripna did a nice job of like talking about what the challenges are and really putting that out for people to understand. There's, I think, it's a lot of us discussing, but there's not really, I think, a clear path forward, and they are continuing to meet with that other group and looking at the different options. What else would you guys add to that?
That was mostly options for fire, right? Weren't they mostly the options were related to fire? Even though, as I recall, there was a bunch of Roma County sheriffs that were there at the meeting.
Our concentration has been fire so far. But this was the first time we were getting an update report on the police, law enforcement, I should say.
The budget meeting.
Right. Because the budget meeting, was some line items in there, and people going, oh, what's that for? Because we didn't know. So it was being reported to us. That generated more interest. We really hadn't talked about.
I think you guys, I felt a disadvantage for you guys as the work group. You should have known about that before the budget, is what I thought. You should have known it was coming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept
It
thinking,
was kind of
you guys
after
don't
the
even
fact.
know, nobody seems to know about that.
I remember wondering, well, what are people talking about? Finding out.
Okay, so let's see, next month's agenda. We will be talking about all of our topics for sure. We'll do the usual. We get minutes, we have minutes. I don't anticipate that Erica will have to come to us 2 months in a row. She'll just give us an update when she gets. Focus and 15, yeah, so we'll get an update from the work group.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
I think the biggest part of that's going to be, whether you're talking sheriffs or police, I think it's going to be, what is the right amount of service? Now, there's the service, you should have the service you can afford. Where does that gap get met? Right? Where in there does it go? So level of service is going to be important. That's kind of a community outreach, really.
Okay, well, I was just gonna say, do we have in our group here a knowledge level of what would be beneficial or what we think?
I think we just need to go with the city council question and answers first, the forum. Is that, and then we'll know from then on. It's
Yeah, it's
too,
a bit early, isn't it?
it's too early. And
Well, because they gotta talk about they gotta talk about the options and what they're thinking.
Yeah, it hasn't been digested. Right?
And
Yeah.
then let the people come to that open forum and get their questions out.
We know what number of officers we had before, but that was a different, I mean, don't know, we had more stuff that we really can't afford. Isn't that what they said? We can't afford it now? I actually am not sure about all that stuff.
I have all the budget booklets going all the way.
I mean, we can work within a few years.
Right.
I mean,
Okay, so.
we'd be saying bye to
Visit that when we get a little bit further along, when we can, I just feel like we don't go round and round, and we can say what we think service level it should be. But do I have enough knowledge on it? Heck no, I don't.
Somebody should probably start thinking about, but know that it hasn't been vetted at some point. They're gonna suggest something and we gotta know whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
Okay. So, anything else? I mean, I'm just gonna, that's what I'm saying for the agenda. Then I would say, next month's meeting.
that is the day before the official July 1st, but the holidays the 3rd.
A lot of people have the 3rd off as their holiday because it's on a Saturday. So I'm totally up. I think everybody likes a summer break. And I feel like we got a lot to do, but we also are kind of in limbo a little bit on what's going to happen. But I'm totally, I say we either take July 2nd off or August 6th. But you guys say, what do you feel about, what do you want to meet next?
No, I like you all. About time.
If you did wanna pick a day, probably July 2nd, because I don't think we're gonna know a whole lot.
A little bit what I was thinking is I felt, but we could still get information, we could still gather and work on stuff. But I feel like the CAC now has kind of put us a little bit more, we're not so sure of what's happening, so.
CAC is not meeting next month either.
No, that's part of the reason they're not meeting, so I feel like, okay. But I'm totally, so I'll just ask you two, what do you want to do? You want to meet both times? You want to take one of them off?
I take the 2nd off.
Okay. Oh, Twyla is moving on, that's right, you aren't returning with us, so.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Twyla quit.
It's moving.
Twyla's she's a quitter.
No.
No, she's so busy.
Oh, okay.
Rich, what would you like to do?
Oh, I'm fine either way, but if we were gonna pick a day, I got a feeling that August is gonna be a day we're probably gonna wanna be here.
Okay. Sherry?
I don't care, either one is fine to have off for me. I feel like I'm not picky.
I think July 2nd would be the best.
To take off or to be here?
I would be here if we could be here, but y'all want it off, then let's take it off.
I feel like off one. I am Switzerland.
Okay, I think then, is everybody good with August 6th then? Is that a good date?
Is he not off?
No, meeting, that's our next meeting day. No. I was just, it was suggested by staff that we took one off last year. We did not take July off last year, we took August off. But that's because we had all sorts of conflicts with people, so that's why. But I say, okay, this year I just said, well, I guess if we're gonna take one off. Say
Staff
either-
usually likes to have more time too, right?
Yeah.
Are we gonna miss any deadlines that we should be concerned about?
All right, with that,
So we're meeting August 6th,
August 6th, 6:30. Right,
not meeting July.
and not meeting July 2nd. We will cancel that meeting. I mean, that's what I got from you guys, so I'm good with whatever you want to do. Okay, let's go with committee member comments. Let's start with you, Mary.
Glad to be back, a lot of information.
We are happy to have you
Okay, I'm just gonna bring up a couple of things because I think maybe they relate to safety and maybe they don't. The first one I think kind of does. I still think 257 heading northbound to try and see the flashing lights for the school, it is just, those trees are just still too overgrown. Now, I know we're going into summer and the lights aren't gonna be flashing because I don't think they're having even summer school, so. But I just think that it's interesting that the county did the road work and probably is responsible for all of that and didn't worry about making sure that those are very visible. So to me, it's like, wow, I come around and I know they're there. So I'm looking, is it flashing or is it not flashing? And it's not, I think that that's an issue still. I don't know the right, source to get to, but I trust that we'll get it figured out. The other thing is, in my yard and in the neighbor's yard, and it could be more yards than this, I don't know. I have found a cat head and 2 different times cat legs. Okay, I was gonna say either coyotes or something creepy is going on. And I do know those neighbors I talked about had said before, oh, thinks there's some feral cats that are moving up the street a ways. And I have seen a coyote. But the neighbor also found 2 different cat legs, and they were different colored legs than the cream colored cat head and stuff I found in my yard at different times. Anyway, so you say coyote, I just don't know if that's a safety issue for kids, especially because they're tinier, or anything else. I just don't know. Yeah. And good meeting, and thanks.
I do remember 2011, give or take a year, a coyote ran off with the mayor's cat in its mouth, runced it down the street.
Wow.
Anybody's cat.
Oh, dear. Okay, Kelly.
Yeah, that's sad. 2 comments I wasn't sure where to sort of interject into this meeting. One was we should really consider outreach into our local schools, QR code type situations, because I think we'll get a lot more local families, Troutdale, and I think people with kids pay attention to public safety maybe a little bit more. So something to reach out to. They all have newsletters and they have to print anyways. So, and then also we had talked about potentially getting a rep from Reynolds High School to start joining and seeing how we can get, see how we can get some of the high school kids involved. I have a neighbor whose son just graduated this year, and he actually, his focus is political science. So I'm gonna bend his ear a little bit and see how we can get some more involvement and maybe invite him to one of the meetings so we can all chat with him. And then the other thing, just because I want it on city record, is we celebrated, my daughter got a student of the 4th quarter today. She's only in kindergarten, but I'm like, Mom.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So now it's on official city paperwork.
That's wonderful, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was gonna say something about what you said before, but I'll come back to it. Go ahead, Rich.
No, better not. My personality, I'll say something that, I shouldn't.
Oh.
Not against Kelly, of course, no.
Okay.
But about my own kids.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't be on the public record.
Voila.
All right, well, I just want to say thank you guys for carrying on this work. I've been part of this committee since it first started. And not this last time, but the time before that, we had so many people applying that I thought I would give others a chance to, because there's a lot of discussion in the interviews of giving other people chances to be on committees. And so I thought that was going to happen again this time, but it sounds like it was a little bit different turnout. So I probably once I get, my work and everything settled out a little bit more, I will be looking, when we do interviews, probably to come back to do some more committee work. But I just want to say I appreciated you, and I'm excited for where this is going and everything you guys do. I do just have this is a little ism, something to keep in the back of the head as not necessarily public safety, but in some ways health related. So this last week I had a retaining wall put in on the corner of Sandy and 4th. And they left a porta potty outside, and they're coming to pick it up. But when a porta potty the door closes, it's very distinct. So living in the house where the porta potty is, I could hear the number. And these were neighbors. There are people. Everybody walks up Sandy with their dog. Everybody walks up Sandy with, on their bikes, all the things. But it just is really living with that porta potty. I have recognized how many people are using it. And to me, I'm like, if so many people have to go to the bathroom so bad that they are stopping in my porta potty, not mine, where are these people going to the bathroom when the porta potty is not there? And so it just had me thinking about public access to toilets and things like that, and some of these high use areas. And into the future, it might be something that we want to think about, because that toilet is getting used.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Keep one outside your place, is that what you want?
It's kind of weird because you're going to the potty in my front yard. What is happening? But people are. And like I said, it's not riffraff. It's families. It's people out for jogs. And because I could hear it, and then I run to the window. You've been caught.
So the past doesn't necessarily dictate what the future should be, right? Mm-hmm. But I do know that in previous conversations that we've had, the city didn't want to get involved into managing the bathroom because of all the trouble they've had to date so far when they tried to do that.
Yeah. Something though, rather have it contained than.
I like restrooms.
Yes.
You're right.
I drink too much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Twyla. I've been on it since the beginning with you. And thank you, Erica.
Yes, thank you.
2 nights in a row she's been here.
Hey,
Yes.
thank you.
It's online. Okay, well, so for me, since Kimberly's not here, I actually didn't follow up with finding out, now the school year's almost over with, but I was gonna ask Kimberly about those buses on 22nd. They're still going on your street, 22nd.
I mean, they might not today, and they might be out because they got furloughed some stuff, so they might be done with school, I don't know.
Is Reynolds done with school?
Yes.
Okay, so that's fine. So I'll have to follow up on that for next year, I guess. And I'm still working on the rep. Still don't have an update on that. And I've, since Frank is, just so you guys all know, Frank did resign from, just giving you a heads up, but I was gonna ask him to provide an update of, he was gonna be meeting with East Multnomah County Transportation or something, and maybe it was Leamy and he was gonna be in contact with John Leamy, but gonna get an update on the time at bus stop on Troutdale Road in Stark. So still working on that. Let's see, the signage near Reynolds High School on the speed limit. Did you tell me that's okay yet? Or did you, have you still noticed it's a problem?
It's still a problem.
It's still a problem. Okay.
We're in the wrong street.
No, it's
And then I believe,
just weird signage. The schools are around the school area.
I thought they did an audit and did it, but I didn't write it here if I thought someone told us that last month. So I just thought I would check with you, but I'm gonna check with them again. And then I think Paul has brought up, we still will see about safety on 2nd and Buxton. Have any of you guys further experienced anything or seen anything, like people trying to cross there by Wayfinder? I think that's been brought up about potential crosswalk there. And then also,
I can give a quick little update.
oh, yes, you got it.
About that. The county is planning on putting bump outs at Second and Buxton on that north side early this fall. So September, October, they will be doing that work. And then we have been talking with the county about putting in a possibility for a crosswalk too.
And then I think it's also come to my attention, painted curbs too on that corner.
With concrete.
Yeah, the concrete bump outs. So people can't park at the very edge of the intersection. That's been happening.
Forces a car away from.
Okay, and that will probably deal with, but you're talking just on the north side of that intersection, right? Or,
I'm trying to think of, I know the north,
the Wayfair side of this, I mean, and
the northwest side of the corner doesn't have a bump out. That's where the vision clearance is really bad, but also the corner on the other side, the southwest corner.
what about, are you guys gonna paint the curbs, because that road is so narrow and it's hard to see when you're pulling out of that street, when you're pulling out of Second Street to try to even go up Buxton or go down. It's really hard to.
I'm going to say something, and this is going to be, you'll know more about it because you were there at TCAB. I think there was conversation of that spot, like the top of Wayfair and the bottom of Wayfair, that, is it going to be like a 15-minute zone, or didn't you guys, isn't that what we had that information given in TCAB at one point?
Oh, those are two different parking spaces.
Okay.
And on different streets.
Oh.
But at the bottom, like right where Wayfinder is on that hill going up the hill, so that the corner on the west side. Right now, the county has a hatched mark where you can't park in front of the. Oh my goodness, I cannot think, the fire hydrant. Thank you. And then once they put that bump out in, people won't be able to park in front of that space that's unmarked right now, where sometimes people are parking there and you can't, it really impairs the vision if you're coming out of Second Street.
Okay.
You can't see to make a left-hand turn. Once the bump out work is complete, I think we'll see how it operates at that time.
Okay, so that's the big thing. Okay, so then we'll just follow up with that. You said that's happening in October.
September, October.
Okay, and then, I just wrote down that blocking crosswalk signs on 257th, and okay, that's ones I just added to it. Okay, well, so, do you have any other notes I was gonna talk to you guys about? Oh, and so our deadlines for getting stuff in the Champion, let's see.
It was Monday.
I was just gonna say, it was Monday for an article, totally, so, I don't know if I'll have to check.
If there's probably some space in there.
Yeah, if we have
something, like a
a
little.
little stuff. Kelly usually gets in some little thing if you give it to her after this, but, so we won't have an opportunity. I think you indicated that we should do something for the summer, but we're missing it. We missed the deadline unless we pull it together in the next few days, and it's small, like the did you knows, or I don't know, some short little thing, then she can get that in.
If we knew, I mean, if they had space and we knew that we were gonna have something for the next one, it might even be a lead-in that say, look for, heavy,
Honestly, I would say look for the town hall coming if I knew it was for sure happening.
yeah, remember we talked about a little catchy tea hall in the fall, whatever, so we could add something.
Tea hall in the fall, yeah. You're right. So just so we are aware, though, the next Champion deadline for October, November, December is September 1st. So we will want to have as much of our information as possible. So like I said, that's why it'll be really important to meet in August and get our stuff together, get it. So
Did we get anything in there for Frank's e-bike?
I don't know, I didn't talk to Kelly Graham today. I know Frank's gone. He was gonna be out of town.
Yeah.
So I didn't remember to call Kelly before it was after 5. And I said, oh, I should have checked with her. I could check with her to see if he submitted anything. So I think he probably would have, but I'm not positive, so. Okay, and let's see, any comments online? I guess. Okay, well, I will entertain a motion. So thank you all for being here. And I look forward to all the good work we're gonna get done this fall, so. Entertain a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Complete jubilee.